Hi folks, I'm Gary and this is the Cultured Drummer. Welcome back folks to another wee episode of Dining Room Drams. First time popping on the channel. After you've watched this, you'd like to see, please consider hitting the subscribe button, giving us a wee thumbs up, and if there's anything you want to ask, stick it into the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay then, today I've decided to grab Glen Moray. Anyone that follows me on social media or watches any of these videos before and even looks over my shoulder, you can tell I'm a bit of a fan of Glen Moray. There's just something about that distillery that engages with me, and I enjoy the stuff that comes out of there. I've reviewed a couple of them in the past. If you want to have a pop back, you can look at them and you'll get a bit more information about the distillery if that's what you're after, if you look into some of those other videos. So I'm not going to drag on too much about it now. What I'll do is I'll get this one into the glass and we'll have a wee chat. So this is Glen Moray 12-year-old, which is part of the Elgin Heritage range. Glen Moray has several ranges, if you want, starting at their sort of the bottom level of the ladder. They'll have the Elgin Classic range, which is kind of the majority of these here. Then you'll move into Elgin Heritage range, which this 12-year-old is with, 15-year-old, 10-year-old. Then they'll move up into, I think there's the Curiosity range, and then there's the Warehouse 1 range, and at different levels the whisky kind of gets more complex, and perhaps the ABV, the strength of the whisky, slightly changes. Their maturation changes, and they just kind of, if you want, almost these different ranges are maybe targeted at different people at different times in their whisky journey. So I would say the Elgin Heritage is more like your second step up on the ladder if you were going through a journey with Glen Moray. The 12-year-old is American oak, selected American oak casks, and obviously 12-year-old, so it's had 12 years sat there in American oak casks. It's put out at your 40% ABV, and with most of the other Elgin sort of more accessible levels of whisky, you're going to find that they've been chill filtered and there's probably a little bit of colour added. You know, there's nothing to say there is or there isn't on the bottle, so we'll just take it that way it is. When you move up into their higher level expressions, it tells you and chill filtered and natural colour, etc. So if they're going to put it on the higher level ones, you know, you're probably going to assume that on the lower level ones that it's had a little bit of sort of work done to the drum. Doesn't make it bad, it just is what it is. Right, so Glen Moray, Elgin Heritage, 12-year-old, and as we said, American oak, selected American oak. Let's give that a wee sniff. There's like a clear, fresh vanilla coming over. It's 40%. There's not going to be anything that jumps out and burns me, and there isn't there. It's clear, it's fresh, it's clean feeling. There's perhaps apple. Yeah, it's like a really nice, fresh, crisp green apple. Yeah, I like that. Now, some people might think that I can be biased. If it's a distillery that I really like, I'll be, you know, I can be biased. If there's something I don't like, you know, I will say I don't like it. I like the nose on that. Chocolate raisins straight away on the palate. very chocolatey. It's quite smooth, quite creamy. Even though it's 40%, there's a slight overburn for me. Perhaps a slight over spiciness, if that makes sense. You know, I think the branding of the bottle says something about being smooth, and whilst it's not harsh, that slight burniness is perhaps not what I was expecting from something smooth, so to speak. Not unpleasant though, just unexpected. Same again there, I took a mouth full of air as I took it in, and that burniness actually did. You hear it in my voice. Yeah. And at 40% ABV, that's not really coming from that. There's just something slightly spicy to the mouthfeel in that for me. But I'm actually quite enjoying it, even though it is slightly unexpected. Yeah. Glen Moray 12-year-old, you'll find it in your supermarkets in the region of £30. I think I spotted it in a supermarket yesterday. It was £34. Some of them I've seen it on special, and it's dropped right down to sort of £22. So just where you go and what you're looking at in different supermarkets. So it's not an expensive dram, but actually it's quite a pleasant dram. Now that I know that there's a slight stronger spiciness than I was expecting, you know, I'm going to be aware of that the next time. But it's actually, yeah, it is smooth. There's definitely a chocolatey, raisiny caramel taste to it, and that American oak, the vanilla-ness comes over on the nose. Maybe not so much on the palate. Yeah, maybe a little bit there of the vanilla on the palate, but for me it's more chocolate, raisins, slightly dark fruits. Not bad, and at £30, perhaps even down to the lowest £22, can you really go wrong with it? So yeah, I'm being biased in saying every Glen Moray is really nice. Yeah, I've not had a bad one yet. Somebody out there will find one for me and send it to me. But yeah, I'll probably still enjoy it. Well, Glen Moray 12-year-old, guys, not bad. It's lunch.